The St. John of Damascus Orthodox Educational Initiative presents the Damascene Podcast.
Chapter 25. And when elected to the bishopric, he cured a servant, one of the king's attendants, by means of holy water. When Cuthbert, the man of God, after having been elected to the bishopric, had returned to his island, and for some time had served God in secret with his accustomed devotion, the venerable Bishop Eata called him and requested him to come to an interview with him at Melrose. The conversation being finished, and Cuthbert having commenced his journey homewards, a certain attendant of King Igfrid met him and besought him that he would turn aside and give benediction at his house. When he had arrived there and had received the grateful salutations of all, the man pointed out to him one of his servants who was infirm, saying, "I thank God, most holy Father, that you have thought worthy to enter our house to see us. And indeed, we believe that your arrival will afford us our greatest profit, both in mind and body. For there is one of our servants tormented with a worse infirmity, and is this day afflicted with such a great pain that he appears more like a man dying than sick. For his extremities being dead, he seems to only breathe a little through his mouth and nostrils." Cuthbert immediately blessed some water and gave it to a servant whose name was Baldum, who is still alive and filling the office of presbyter in the bishopric of Lindisfarne, where he adorns by his good qualities. He also has the faculty of relating in the sweetest manners the virtues of man, God to all who are desirous of knowing. And it was he that told me the miracle which I relate, the man of God. Then, when giving him holy water, said, "Go give it to the sick man to drink." In obedience, these words he brought to the water to the sick man. And when he poured it into his mouth the third time, the sick man, contrary to his usual custom, fell asleep. It was now the evening, and he had passed the night in silence, and in the morning appeared quite well when his master visited him. Chapter 26. Of his manner of life in his bishopric. The venerable man of God, Cuthbert, adorned the office of bishop, which he had undertaken by the exercise of many virtues, according to the precepts and examples of the apostles, for he protected the people committed to his care, with frequent prayers, and invited them to heavenly things by most wholesome admissions, and followed that system which most facilitates teaching, by first doing himself what he taught to others. He saved the needy man from the hand of the stronger, and the poor and destitute from those who could oppress them. He comforted the weak and sorrowful, but he took care to recall those who were sinfully rejoicing to that sorrow, which is according to godliness, desiring to exercise his frugality. He did not cease to observe the severity of monastic life amid turmoil by which he was surrounded. He gave food to the hungry, raiment to the shivering, and his course was marked by all the other particulars which adorn the life of a pontiff. The miracles which he shone forth to the world bore witness to virtues of his own mind, which some we have taken care briefly to hand down to memory.